6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. Y'all got another game review for y'all. LSU versus Iowa women's basketball tournament, March Madness tournament. Great game from both sides, and I enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first quarter, Angel Reese had herself a first quarter, running the floor. They're feeding her, finishing through contact. Great job from her. And even Caitlin Clark was getting started too on Iowa's end. And, you just can't go under a screen with her. The matchup kind of confused me. They had Van Lith on her. And I was like, well, I didn't. And I said that at the beginning of the game. I'm not just saying that because we've seen how it panned out and she dropped 40 and Iowa wins. No, I said that because literally at the beginning I looked and I was like, well, Hailey Van Lith ain't even really their best defender. If I'm Kim Mulkey, I'm putting Flau'jae out there, or I'm even putting the freshman. I feel like she's a good defender too, Kayla Williams or Kaylin Williams, putting her out there. But I didn't really too much see or understand putting Van Lith out there. But she got Caitlin Clark going by going under the screen, and she hit the first one and came down and hit her second one, and the rest was just her facilitating and Iowa's movement. Iowa, to a lot of people that didn't watch them this season, is really underrated in terms of their off-ball movement. They're always moving because Caitlin Clark draws so much attention. So while you're looking at her, the bigs and the guards can backdoor, or they find their way somewhere around the perimeter. The guards do find their way somewhere around the perimeter. The bigs will backdoor. And since Caitlin draws so much attention, she can find them. So she did a great job of doing that in the first half. And, man, this game really just came down to the third quarter because, in the first half, Iowa started off looking like they could run away with it. And LSU, I always tell people all the time, basketball is a game of runs. And it started off with Iowa looking like they could run away with it. Then the momentum and a tide switched and changed over to LSU looking like they could run away with it. The second quarter was back and forth, and it really just came down to the third. And the third was, really the deciding quarter because, man, Caitlin Clark went out there and was tearing LSU a new one. Like, she was out there sparking that bitch. Like, don't get me wrong. And we know she's capable of it. But that third quarter, when I tell you she was absolutely unconscious, yes, she could not see she couldn't even imagine her missing a shot. Like, it seemed like everything was falling for her in that third quarter. Then, Iowa started ramping it up on defense, really packing the paint and not just letting Angel go one-on-one. So what happened was, they went on like a scoring lull for like 6 minutes, and that really hurt LSU. Like, they really didn't get to scoring in that third quarter until like the 2-minute mark or something like that. So that whole third quarter, you got Iowa just whooping up on their ass, and Caitlin Clark just feeling virtually unstoppable and getting everything to fall. And a lot of these points are unanswered. So it really came down to that third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, LSU, Iowa just kept it going. They chewed off a lot of clock, which was smart by their coach. Respect to her. I forget her name. And Caitlin Clark as well, just waiting until, the last couple seconds to get a good shot. So, yeah. And, LSU looked as if times they could come back, but just they just couldn't lock in on defense and kept letting, those Iowa bigs or kept letting Caitlin Clark find someone. You know what I'm saying? She found someone, whether it was a guard or big, and people underrate, I think her name's Katie something, and people underrate Gabby Marshall. They're very good perimeter shooters. So she kicks out to them. They can hit, and the big with the puffs. Respect to her. She likes to finish through contact, and she can finish through contact, and is a great screener. So Caitlin just did a good job chewing the clock, eating the clock, and then finding whoever she needed to find and make the right play. And at times it looked like LSU was going to come back, but they had too many defensive miscommunications. They weren't really locked in. And then on the other end, they weren't really finishing layups, But I questioned their shot selection earlier on in the game, and then it got better in the timeout that we got to see where Angel Reese told them, stop taking stupid shots. And they did just that and then came back. But then, like I said, when it came to the fourth, it was just bad shot. It was just not finishing through contact, not bad shot selection, my bad, but not finishing through contact, and then a lack of defense on the other end. So yeah, great job from Iowa and Caitlin Clark. Congrats, moving forward to the Final Four. And LSU, tough way to go out. We're not sure. I think they said Angel Reese is going to decide on whether she's going to go to the WNBA or spin the block. So yeah, that'll be that. But great game from both sides. I enjoyed it. Now it's time to watch UConn and USC. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share to the team, share to your friends. I don't give a fucking amount. Oh, hold on. Last thing. No, I forgot. Because that's the whole reason I brought that shit up in the beginning of the video. But yeah, with 5 minutes left, like after that third quarter, where she was really just tearing, respect to Haley Van Lith, and she's a gamer. But I wouldn't put her on the other team's best player. Especially if I feel like we have better defenders, which LSU, in my opinion, does. So it was like with 5 minutes left after Caitlin Clark is just, like I said, unconscious. Now they're like, oh, yeah, now Flau'jae is out there. And the commentator even said it. He was like, finally, Flau'jae Johnson is out. I'm like, thank you. Like, why is Flau'jae not guarding her? Why is even Kayla Williams not guarding her? You know what I'm saying? Like, Poe does a decent job. She does an okay job. Leicester Poe, props to her. But I would have really had Flau'jae or somebody like that out there. But Kim Mulkey didn't make the switch until 5 minutes. And, yeah, not to say that just completely shut her down, but it was a little bit better than it was when Haley was guarding her. But like I said, anyway, that's the end of the video. Props to both teams, both coaches. Great game. Love it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, share to the team, share to your friends. I don't give a fucking amount.